and all kinds of good stuff already.
You and I...
We cannot hang out before podcasting.
No, it's not even that. It's that, like, I could talk to you forever.
I know, I could talk to you forever.
We could have a 24-hour telethon.
We literally... Do we do a 24-hour podcast? You guys, welcome to Glitter and Garbage. Is it going to be an hour? Is it going to be 24 hours? Stay tuned and find out. I'm here with one of my favorite humans.
Are we really doing it?
It's happening.
Oh, I'm here.
You're here. It's Daniel Franzese, actor, activist, comedian, singer, thrifter.
Jazz hander.
Fashion king. You were just telling me you did Thick Thrift this weekend.
Yeah, your cousin's event.
So my cousin's girlfriend, I believe, started the event, and I believe my cousin and her girlfriend, they're involved. But I believe it was my cousin's girlfriend Rachel who started it, who created this thing, and it's a wonderful event.
Yeah, it's like a flea market for plus size.
Yes, and I love it. I haven't been able to go yet, but I saw you were there. I think Sarah, my cousin who's been on the pod, was like, "I've met your friend Daniel," and I was like, "Oh my god!"
It was like random how it happened. I'm a spokesperson for Big Fig Mattress, like the mattress for people with a bigger figure, and so they did like an appearance there, and they were like, "Why don't you come?" And I was like, "Okay," and then they were like, "You want to bring a rack?" And I was like, "Really?
Yeah,
I would love to do that."
Yeah,
and so I did that, and then I was like, "Oh my god, I got to do it again."
Yeah.
And then I did it for real,
yeah.
And now I'm just like addicted.
Oh, it's so fun. And you were telling me before, just like, I was getting a little emotional. It's so sweet.
Well, as a person who's like, I'm constantly curating things for myself. I'm finding clothes. I don't look at sizes on clothes. I just try it on. I look at fabrics and I augment denim. I do all that kind of stuff. So for me, I'm always trying to find things that fit me. And if it's not like my waist, it's my stature or it's whatever. It's just like, just a larger person.
Yeah.
And there are no universal sizing anywhere. So I see people like to have all the clothes in my size, like one size less than me, one size bigger than me even, and then have people come in and have a whole entire shop that was all for them and their faces and everything was cool.
That's cool.
They didn't know what to do with themselves.
Yeah,
one guy literally tried on every single item I had.
Oh my god.
I know, and he ended up buying all this stuff and then I threw a bunch of free shirts in there.
That's so nice. I love that.
It was so fun. I just had a good time.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, check it out, you guys. Thick Thrift. Do they do it monthly or every couple months?
They do it monthly,
Okay, great. Awesome.
Yeah. Different locations.
Nice. I love it. Well, I can't wait to come to one. I was emceeing Clueless, my favorite movie ever, downtown on Saturday. It was last minute. Otherwise, I would have been there.
That is one of the best movies ever.
It's so good. It's just, it hits. You know what I mean?
Still slaps.
And I love, it's Amy Heckerling. It's like in, out, hour and a half.
It took me years to realize that Travis Birkenstock was from the Birkenstock family who created Birkenstocks, and that's why he's like a hippie. I live. You
know, it's hilarious. I just made that connection this time watching. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Stoners on the grassy knoll.
I know. Yeah. And I love when he comes and he brings to donate and he has his bong and she's like, I guess kitchenware.
I kept mine in the
kitchen. It's so good. There's so many funny jokes. Dan Hedaya is pitch perfect in it.
Everywhere in LA is 20 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so true.
It's so true.
To this day.
It's so good.
When people go, how far is it? I go, did you ever see Clueless?
Yeah, it's 20 minutes. Exactly. I'm so thrilled. We were talking before we started, like, this is our third time seeing each other this week.
Yes.
What a blessing.
Have you met any cast members from Clueless?
I feel like I don't think I have, actually.
I have.
Who?
Yeah, so I haven't met Alicia Silverstone, who I love.
I would die. I loved her before Clueless in The Crush and The Babysitter, all those weird, like, she was a teenager thrillers movies I was into.
Who was it? Who was it when she was on The View that she snubbed? When she came in because somebody was, like, rude, and then she, like, I know what it was. It was when Rosie and Elizabeth Hasselbeck got in a fight. And the next guest was Alicia Silverstone, and she came and shook everyone's hand but skipped over Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
Oh, my God.
I was living for that. Okay, haven't met her yet. Did meet Donald Faison at a Chima steakhouse.
Nice. Amazing.
And sometimes because I'm Daniel Franzese and I was at Mean Girls and he's Donald Faison, people are like, you're Donald Faison. And I'm like, because they get like all like tongue-tied.
That makes sense. And they're kind of similar.
And I tried to tell him that and he did not get it. I was like, people confuse me for you because, and he was like, what? And I met Breckin Meyer.
Oh, I love Breckin.
His daughter came up to me at DragCon for like an autograph or whatever, and I just gave her like all the merch. I'm like, I love her dad.
Oh
like,
my God. He's so good in that. You know, Jamie Kennedy auditioned for that role too. He's talked about that on this pod.
Oh, I could see him
I
do
could
that.
see that too.
Yeah.
It was interesting watching it this time. I was like, oh yeah, Jamie could have totally done
Or
this.
Matthew Lillard too.
Oh, Matthew Lillard too, yeah.
They were all like the stoners on the grassy
They
knoll
were,
of that time.
Yeah, and this like goofy guys.
Yeah.
But, like still could get it, you know?
All of them.
Elton, I think, is so hot too. The guy who plays
Yeah,
Elton.
yeah. He was not my type when I was a kid, like younger.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, so I don't know if it but now.
And
I'm like, oh, I see.
can we talk about the guy who plays Christian?
So hot.
So hot. He looks just like Jason Priestley.
And really intimidating with that like kind of swagger he's got. He's like, yeah, hip cat. Like,
yeah. And he's
are you
like,
into Billie Holiday?
Yeah,
I love him.
I love him. So good.
So good.
Yeah, and Dan Hedaya is like, if anything happens, I've got a 45 and a shovel. I doubt anyone would miss you. It's just so good.
I'm totally butt crazy in love with Josh. I can keep going.
I know, me too.
That's why I get when people do the Mean Girls thing, because I get it. Like I was like a clueless kid.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I,
me
like,
too.
And Grease. I could just type entire
Grease is like so good.
What's up with Duda? One of my diamonds just fell in the macaroni.
So good. And what I love is Grease. I mean, I love anything where 30-year-olds are playing high school. That's why I'm back in 90210 and I'm loving it.
90210 is like the precedent for why they don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Because they all got cast and they were like passable, and then all of a sudden it's 11 seasons and they're like shit.
Well, you know, I know we're in season 2 now, and Andrea is 30,
Andrea
and
was
she's
like,
supposed to be a junior in high school.
when like Brian Austin Green was on the cover of like Teen Bop or whatever, she was on the cover of like AARP.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, are you crazy? Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. But I love all of them though, and they're.
I remember they were doing like some kind of truth or dare in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
And they're like, truth, why Andrea and not Andrea? And she was like, to be different.
Oh my God.
Or something, right?
That was, we just rewatched that episode. The mean
Am I
girl.
right? Is that what happened?
Yes.
Yeah.
The mean cool girl.
That's from just like catalog memory.
I love that you know that though.
Yo, I told you already, and we talked about this.
Yes, no, please.
We were like
have
at the
to talk
store,
about it.
like in
Yes.
the back talking about this, but this is like a real thing.
Yeah.
So they had a mall appearances, and this
Yes.
is like in the day for those for those Zillens that are watching who don't get it. They used to have mall appearances.
Yes, they did.
It's how like Tiffany became famous and Debbie Gibson.
Yeah.
They used to like do the mall circuit. It was essentially like being a TikTok star. It was like being a mall star.
Yeah.
And they did. And when 90210 came out, and the fashion mall in the unfortunately named Plantation, Florida, which is right next to Sunrise, Florida, where I grew up.
Wow.
They had an mall appearance, and I begged my mom to go. I just like well, they were the guys, but still, I like begged my mom because they were like famous. I just wanted to meet actors. Like I was so enamored with like acting in Hollywood, and I was like, I have to go. My mom was like, I'm not going to that shit. You know, she had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Total common sense.
Yeah.
But they all got smashed, like Beatlemania. Like there was a video, there's like news footage of like girls being like pushed up against glass doors. Like they tried to get to them, they had to cancel the event.
Oh my God.
And someone like broke their arm.
Wow.
And then they canceled like that was like part of the whole thing that was like, oh, this is going to be a hit show.
Right. Do you know who it was that was?
Yeah, it was Jason Priestley, who I just did a movie with. I did a movie called All There Is that's coming out
my God,
later on next year, early next year. Yeah, so we did that movie, and then also
was it Luke Perry?
Luke Perry.
Oh, those are the two. That
it was like just the two of them, and they tore that place apart. It was like insane.
They were it. They were everything in the 90s. The whole cast, and they're all so good looking, you know?
I know.
Yeah, but especially, I was a Brandon girl personally.
Yeah.
I've always liked nice guys. Have you ever been into bad boys? I feel like my friends like the bad boys. I was always.
I like a little rough trade.
You do? Not rough trade.
Sometimes. Sometimes. I mean, but truly, like when it's a sweet pea, sweetie, sweetheart, with like a big smile and like he smells like soap, like I'm in love. I want to get married.
I know.
Yeah, but like the dirty ones that like are kind of stinky and like hot and like furry, I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm like maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I know. Brandon was such like a social justice warrior. Like every episode, he's trying to like do good for humanity.
Do something.
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny. But yeah, Jason Priestley. So you were in a movie with him.
Yeah.
How was it? Does he have a present? You know,
he's got an aura about him. No, he was wonderful. It was nice.
I love it. I love it. Well, you also told me a story about Calendar Girl.
Right.
Okay, which I later looked up.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you can like see his dick in it, kind of, right?
Well, The legend of that
Yeah.
movie is that there's a scene where he's running in the beach and like his dick was so big that they had to like CGI it out. That's gay Hollywood lore.
So
I didn't bring it up today. I only worked with him one day, so that wasn't the day to bring that up.
No. It's not like a Bill Paxton where you're at dinner and you can be like, did you do acid? Do you have a huge dick? No, I went home and Googled that immediately because my boyfriend.
It's just funny.
It is funny. And I was telling my boyfriend because Mitch has never watched it before. So it's very fun getting to watch with him who's like experiencing this for the first time. I know, exactly. But I was like, Mitch, Danny told me that there is a legend that Jason Priestley's dick is so big it was flopping around while he was running on the beach and it had to be CGI'd out. And Mitch, within 2 seconds, pulled up pics. We had pics you could see from the back. So I don't know.
If you can see it from the front, wait till you
exactly,
can see it from the
exactly. So
no, yeah, so good for him. I mean,
good for
like,
him.
If one would Google, not me, but one.
If I
like
would
Google
Google
the top 10 biggest penises in Hollywood, he shows up.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think there's also like John Hamm and Milton Berle are on there.
I know John, and then Noah Centineo is pretty. He had a video get loose that he's definitely got to be on that list for sure.
All right.
He's a little cutie, but good for. I'm like, okay, Brandon, yes.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
Get it. I love it.
Let's go.
I love it. Well, it's
and
so
introducing. No.
I know, and introducing
Brandon
exactly. I just pictured is in the beginning where they turn around in the opening credits where they're like da-na-na-na-na. If he turns around and it's just like huge schlong in the shot.
Who knows?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm in.
He didn't need it. He didn't need it.
He didn't. The girls knew. That's
the girls
why
were like breaking arms anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They're like, ah. I love Jason Priestley. I love 90210, as you guys know. And Ian is going to be on the podcast too.
Oh, how fun for you.
Yeah. So I'm very excited.
And for him.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the hottest seat in town.
It is the hottest seat. Thank you for saying that. You know what's up.
Yeah.
Okay, there was some other drama that I wanted to chat with you about.
Okay.
It Ends With Us, the new Blake Lively movie.
Right.
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, no problem. I'm happy to explain it. I've been in a TikTok like K-hole just researching.
It's on my list.
So it's fine. I'm gonna be honest, you guys. I loved it because I love cheesy things, but it feels like a very well produced Lifetime movie. You know what I mean?
You're never gonna work in this town again.
I know.
Or maybe at Lifetime.
At Lifetime, hire me. I'm in. I'm also like, but I love garbage. Hire me, Lifetime. I'm never working in this town. Good thing this is the hot seat in town. No, but okay. So that being said, I loved it though. But it felt that like feminine. But it's based on the source material is, I believe the author's name is Colleen Hoover. She's written a number of
So it's like a chick flick kind of movie?
Yes, it's chick flick.
I've never been able to work out the joke that a chick flick should be called a period film.
Oh my God.
I can never figure that out, like to where it makes sense.
That is so funny. Yeah, a period piece.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So it
like
is.
you have chocolate and you're just like,
Yes. No, and
watching The Notebook.
It was literally, The Notebook is the best period piece for sure. That's so good. You have to turn that into a joke.
I can't figure it out yet. I'm going to figure it out. Write in.
Someone, please email.
Subscribe, like, and comment down below.
Joke pitches, please. So this movie is about, so Colleen Hoover wrote this book, right? And it's about a woman who is in an abusive relationship. And
Hilarious. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, but you know what's crazy is that the marketing, you wouldn't know it from it looks like a rom-com. And this is where, I'm bringing it up because that's where some of, I believe, the drama is coming from.
I see.
This is all alleged. This is all from TikTok. I don't know shit. I'm just regurgitating shit that I've pulled together and assembled into
with your Cracker Jack
investigative
mind
while I'm stoned, like violently stoned on the couch,
literally eating Cracker Jacks.
Exactly. This is my job. So Justin Baldoni, are you familiar with him?
Casually.
Yeah, okay, so he's hot. He was in Jane the Virgin.
Didn't watch, but yeah.
I didn't watch it either, but he's very attractive. And he secured the rights for this movie in 2019, right? Or the rights to the book to make it into a movie in 2019, right? So his production company was going to produce it, and he was attached to star and direct. Somewhere along the line, Blake gets involved, and Blake and Ryan, I believe, allegedly throw some money at the movie and then start what people are saying, kind of taking control creatively. Blake said that Ryan rewrote a scene.
And the director never saw it until the premiere.
Oh, really?
Actually, it was Damien Holbrook, the original Damien that I played in Mean Girls, Tina Fey's friend from high school who now works for TV Guide. Broke this story on Instagram where he was, because this has intrigued me, he was saying that the timeline doesn't make sense. The math isn't mathing on it. That a scene was written and rewritten and then was subsequently filmed real quick. Then it came out and the director never seen it, but when was it written? And it made it seem like it was written during the strike.
I've also heard that as well, which is like very big no, you guys. Like,
yeah,
huge.
I mean, that is allegedly.
Alleged.
Look at Damien Holbrook's Instagram.
Yeah, we don't know shit.
I was like, that's intriguing.
Yeah, so.
Because I think a lot of big players, a lot of A-list people, they move around things. And you got to remember that, there's a lot of like, smaller people out there that are all trying to still, and then the people who were being accused of all this never really made picket line appearances.
Yes. Oh, interesting.
Kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
It was like
Yes, and Blake
get your Cracker Jacks out.
Yes, get it out, get it out. But Blake also lines up with Blake has confirmed that he rewrote a scene. Like, she said that on the press line at one of the premieres. So that is confirmed. So we don't know when. It could have been then, very well, which would be not great. It's pretty big.
Boyfriend to write things.
I know, I know, right? And with those abs, right? Like,
yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
I'm not an ab person.
You aren't?
No. I like a little layer of belly. Like, I don't want the whole.
I don't want it to be too much. I want but I like a nice little. There is something.
I don't know, it's like an alligator back.
Oh, there's something like, again, not if it's too much. It's like not hot, but like just the right amount. I'm like, ooh, yeah.
Yeah, sure. I think I've seen like people. I'm like, oh, that's hot, but it's not something I look for, or like even like touching it isn't like, oh. I like some pecs or some arms.
Yeah, well, and some arms for sure. Side note, Josh Hartnett takes off his shirt in Trap. Did you see Trap yet?
Yeah, but when does he take his shirt off?
At the very end. He takes it off for no reason except like for all of us girlies, I'm sure.
I don't know if I remember that.
He takes it off and he looks good. It's like he's in shape, but it's not like over the top. I think that's like perfect
dad
for
bod,
me.
Yeah. Dad bod, Hollywood dad.
Hollywood dad bod, exactly. And
I thought that movie was fun.
I thought it was so fucking fun.
It's camp.
It's camp, exactly. I was telling Daniel, because I think before you guys went, I think you guys went right after I saw you that night. I loved it. I thought it was so funny and fun, and the crowd, but you have to know going in, it's silly and it's camp,
Yeah, I mean, there were so many plot holes.
But you're
I was like, okay.
Exactly, but I'm like, I'm into it.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
No, exactly. I'm the best audience member because I'll suspend all disbelief.
Listen,
you know what
honey,
I mean?
I grew up in the theater. If a window's hanging from a string and I'm believing it's a wall, it's fine. He took his shirt off for no reason. I'm okay. I'm in.
That's how I am. I think it must be a theater thing or like an actor because you're so used to like
or a creative mind.
You're like, I see where you're doing with this.
You either have to be really creative or really stupid.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm a little bit of both. So it ends with us. So I think, and then everyone was talking about the word that keeps getting thrown around with this "it ends with us" drama is tense. That things were getting tense on set.
Is the movie tense?
The movie is not tense. I will say the thing about the movie is I, again, really enjoyed it. It was a very fun theater experience. It was like mostly all women, and it was a period piece for sure. It was great. And it was a very fun watch. That being said, it sounds like Blake and Justin had very different, I think, visions of what the movie should be because allegedly, I've heard there are 2 cuts of the movie. There's the Justin cut and the Blake cut.
Yeah.
And yes.
The cat's butthole edit.
Exactly. And I think they went with the Blake cut, even though Justin's cut supposedly tested better with audiences. But I think Justin's may have been a little bit more serious, and Blake's is a little more light. It almost feels like a rom-com in parts, which made it a little confusing considering the subject matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Like, I can't think of one right now, but I have seen some horror movies and stuff where like the first half is like a rom-com and all of a sudden it takes a dark turn. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, so this is more just like, I don't know, because it's such a serious subject matter, I think people are getting a little like I think Justin, his press, and they've done no press together. They didn't pose for pictures together on the carpet, and the whole cast.
Well, if you're a director of a film and then you're showing up and there's a new scene you didn't see, I'd be pissed as shit.
Exactly. And no one's saying anything about it. He's been very nice. He's
oh my God, I gotta tell you a story real quick.
Yes.
I was in Tom Hanks's animated Yahoo series called The Electric City.
Oh my God, okay.
And I was like a series regular on it, and I played like the oldest woman in the world, and then all these other little characters that were like guest stars throughout the series. And they invited me to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
To like do like a panel and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, Tom Hanks was really pushing it. It was like a big thing, like whatever. So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
I go to Comic-Con, I'm on the red carpet, and they're like, so who do you play? And I'm like, I play the oldest woman in the world, blah, blah, blah. They're like, do some of her voice? I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And then we're like talking or whatever. And then we go to the screening and we watch it, and it's not my voice. And I'm like,
wait,
what the fuck happened? Like, and then they were like, oh, we didn't tell you. They're like, we replaced you as that character. Like, we kept all your guest stars, but we replaced you as your series regular. They're like, but you want to hear a great story? The woman who played it, like, hasn't worked in a million years. I was like, good for fucking her.
Oh my God.
Why did I drive myself down to San Diego?
Yeah.
And like go through all this, do all the press like an idiot.
Yeah.
And then you didn't even tell me that you replaced me in the show. And they're like, oh, we owe you one.
Oh.
Do you believe that shit?
That's insane.
And then someone told me a story. There's been several times where Woody Allen has done that to people. Where he's just like recast them and still invited them to the premiere, and they didn't even. It's happened like more than once, where like an actor would show up to like the premiere of the movie and not even be in the movie.
Not to bring this back to 90210, but everything comes back to 90210 now.
Doesn't it though?
Brandon has an episode where he is at a park playing roller hockey by himself, and they're shooting a scene from a popular TV show, and he gets cast and he does all these scenes, and then he falls for the girl who's the lead, and she leads him on, and then she wants to get back with her Hollywood boyfriend, and he invites everyone over to watch his big debut, and they reshot his scenes, and he's not in it anymore.
So relevant. 90210 to this day.
Always. We can always refer back to 90210. Yes. So yeah, I agree though. That's jarring.
Yeah.
You know?
Like if I was a director, I'd be so angry.
Well, and it's tough because obviously Blake and Ryan are like a huge Hollywood power couple.
And likable, very likable, I think.
So likable. They're so cool. They have good senses of humor. They make fun of themselves. Like, people adore them. So I can see where that would be a really tough, because, you know, on the one hand, he got the rights and is the director.
I was at a barbecue there at once.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait, how did they look in person?
Gorgeous. And they were so like loving to each other and nice.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And look, again, they're both really attractive.
I love that I get to dump like my useless life experiences.
And I'm like, this is giving me life.
Like, what did they eat? I'm like, probably chicken.
What did they smell like? Yeah. I'm like, hottest scene in town. No, but they're so beloved. I mean, fucking Hugh Jackman's on the red carpet at the premiere for It Ends With Us. Like, they really are just like the golden couple. So there is this, like, I'm sure, power dynamic, and it sounds like there was a lot of tension. There is rumor that, because I think a lot of people were maybe siding with Justin first, but now people are saying something happened on set that is going to come out that's going to change everyone's opinion about it. So I'm here with my Cracker Jacks, just waiting for.
They're just waiting for the ticket sales to dip, and then they'll release.
Exactly, and then they'll release new info. I know that's the other thing, is everyone was like, "Is this all just like a publicity stunt?"
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Me neither. I mean, I would believe it. Also, what's interesting is the whole cast unfollowed Justin except Hassan, who I love. Hassan is great in it.
The whole cast unfollowed the director?
Yes, unless there is a chance he could have remove people as followers too, I guess.
You can't you can block people.
You can remove them. No, you can. There's an option. You can remove them as a follower. You don't even have to block.
I don't know why I would remove anyone.
I don't either, but I'm sure they probably unfollowed is what most people are assuming. But I think because he did like no pictures with anyone, he literally has been doing his own thing. And then I think Jenny Slate, and who's also great in the movie, and Blake have been doing press on their own. And yeah, it's just very interesting, and it's been occupying my mind for the past few nights. I've just been down a TikTok rabbit hole getting the tea.
I love it.
I love it too.
Sipping it, piping hot.
It's piping hot. Piping. Wait, I like these pants. What are these?
These are jeans.
No.
Or as my mother would call them, dungarees.
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 These are so cute. They're like patchy and they have cargo pockets.
Yeah, for things, for drugs.
Just for drugs and stuff. I was so stoned at the Comedy Store with you the other night, by the way. I was like, I'm so glad Daniel's here, because I would feel...
Literally, like, just latching onto each other,
me
not
too.
able to talk to
I
anybody
know, we were like,
else.
we can't talk to anyone else.
I feel like they're too cool for us, but we're just, like, trying to survive.
No, we're just, like, fighting for our lives, too stoned. That was such a fun night, too.
Always a good time.
And I love Rob. Can we give a huge shout out to Rob Flo?
Rob Flo.
Our photographer extraordinaire. You brought him into my life. The first time you did the pod, you brought him. And he is
good times.
the best. He makes everyone look so hot. He does.
Yeah.
He's the best. He gives out framed pictures. It's so cute.
What a sweetie.
So sweet. I know. I put it on my counter, the framed picture of us, to bring as like set dressing today.
Yeah, he gave me that framed picture of us, and I'm like, can I get one of these framed for Justine? He's like, I already gave her one. I was like, damn it.
He beat you to it. That's my go-to present. Like, if I can't think of something, like, I'll print out a nice pic. It's such a good throwback present.
When I go, like, it's a good housewarming gift to print a picture of yourself, put it in a frame, and just randomly put it in someone's house.
Just you, no one else.
Yeah, exactly. I like doing that, or I like getting like a 4-pack of toilet paper.
Yeah.
And then writing something on it, like God bless your home or
oh
whatever.
Oh my God, hilarious.
And giving it to them, because they'll always use that.
That is.
And then when they
gift.
use it, they're like thinking of you, while they're pooping.
Yes, and that's what I always want.
Yeah.
I want people thinking of me while they're
when they're the most relaxed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When they're relaxed, they're feeling good, they're getting some shit out,
Yeah, just let it go.
My God. Okay, so back to 90210 quickly. So you said you watched, but you kind of fell off. Like
I was watching for cultural clout. Like, I was watching because I was like, I don't know if I was like in middle school or whatever, and I was like, I need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Because this is what everyone's going to be talking about. Like, that's the reason I was watching, and I could only hang on so long. I've never been a soap opera girly. So I was like trying.
Yeah.
And I was just like, and I would go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Also, they really sold like, this week on 90210, one of our main characters are going to die. And I was like, who's it going to be? And then it was that random kid that was like.
Oh, I know that he was a series regular the first year, and then second year it was like his appearances got less and less.
And then
they
they're
were
like, we're going to just off
We're
him.
just going to.
Yeah.
So it's Scott. It's David's friend, who you could tell in the beginning they try and make it look like, David and him are like best friends. They're the nerdy freshmen. But then as David starts to get hot, they're like, oh, we got to put him with
just kill the nerd.
Yeah.
It's like, this guy's not hot enough. Let's like kill him.
Well, what's hilarious is he comes back, they do the summer episodes, and then Scott comes back and is wearing a cowboy hat and loves guns suddenly, and he's like loves fireworks and guns, and David's like, cool it with the guns, man. And the way it happens is, because we just watched this episode, like I think the night after we hung out and got really stoned, but it's like it's such a serious subject matter, but the way they shoot it is so cheesy. He's like, look, David, and he's spinning the gun around.
Oh, yeah, like.
Yeah, and he's like, and the camera, the camera movement is so funny. The cinematography is like crazy, and then it's just, but then.
Also, did you watch the remake of 90210?
The
newer one, the new school or whatever they call it. I don't know what they called it.
I think it was BH 90210.
Yeah, and Shanae Grimes was the lead.
Yes.
She was my housemate when she was on that show.
Stop!
Yeah, we shared a house together.
Oh my God!
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
That was the first time I really had to deal with paparazzi, because she was paparazzi'd.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it was like such a weird thing. I remember like, I should tell the story, but I don't care. That she moved into my house and they took pictures of her, and she didn't like the pictures, so she called her publicist and then staged removing in a
oh my God.
outfit. She was like, I'm not doing that. I'll let them have the pictures, but we'll redo it. And then she put on these little shorts and carried like one empty box.
Oh my God, that's so
I know,
funny.
hysterical. But every time we'd be somewhere, like they'd jump out of the woodwork. We had to like run through stores.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's exciting.
That is exciting. I mean, look, 90210 was the blueprint for all these other teen shows, And you're so right. I feel like after that, they started casting younger, because I auditioned for Blair and Gossip Girl, and at the audition.
Can you even imagine?
I know, but if I had gotten that, I wouldn't be sitting here with you. So it's like everything
same.
happens.
If I got that role, I wouldn't sit here with you. Like, fuck you, I'm rich. I'm driving myself to the valley for free. This isn't my ministry.
Oh my God, I'm like crying. You know what's funny is that driving to the valley for free. But at that audition, I'm sure the Glitter Audi has heard this story before. Apologies if you have. But I go in and I had just watched The Secret. I thought this was my role that I had manifested for myself, right? Like,
yeah,
I was like, it's Cruel Intentions meets The OC, which were like my two favorite things. And I was like, oh, it's Josh Schwartz. Oh, this is going to be sick. And I crushed the audition, like so good. Have never felt as good as I did in that audition. And afterward, like, you know, when you just know they liked it, they're like making notes, they're chatting with you after, you know, and then the last thing they asked, they're like, oh yeah, that was great, blah, 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 and you know, this, and then, you know, whatever, talking about, I think they knew my agent or whatever, and then we get to the end and they're like, oh, quick question, how old are you? And I didn't know that I could have just said I'm over 18. So I said I'm 21. And they were like, okay, great. And then cut to like a day or two later, I got the call and they're like, hey, they said you're too old. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I mean, I understand.
Yeah. I mean, I get it though. They're like,
I played 16 when I was 26. I get it.
Yeah. But you looked 16 when you were 26.
Yeah. They were worried about it though for a while.
They were?
Like, yeah, they were nervous about it.
Was that, because who else, what were the other ages? I mean, Rachel was like 28, right? Yeah.
She was only, I think it was like, that Amy Poehler played her mom was only like 7 years older.
Yeah, I remember that, which is just funny. Amy Poehler was so funny in that.
Yeah.
But Lindsay was like actually 17.
Yeah,
right?
and Amanda Seyfried was like 15, I think.
Oh, interesting. And then Lacey was, I think, closer to.
I think they're like in their early 20s.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot.
It's just easier because when you in a movie it's different.
Yeah,
because you don't have
one and done.
When you cast teens, they have to have school. They can only work so many amount of times.
Right.
You have to pay for a guardian to live with them. It's like all this bullshit.
Right.
But like, you know, so you cast someone that's like 20, then they could like do whatever they want.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it is. I get it. Like, because if you're going to be going through school, like look at Euphoria now. They have to jump ahead 5 years.
It was literally Nana Tuina that did it because they were like, oh, this will last 4 years.
Yeah.
But it lasted like what? Like
so many years.
18
Yeah,
years
they're like 50
like,
and they're like, I'm 28.
Yeah.
You know? It is so funny though, because there's one episode where Andrea, because you know she doesn't live in the district, she lives in Van Nuys. There's a lot of Valley hate in this show, by the way.
Actually, rewatching it now and knowing California might make a difference because I did not know California when I watched all. Actually, that's been so great for me to go back and watch like movies that are about LA now.
Yeah.
And be like, that I watched them then, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, I know.
There's so much of that. Yeah.
Clueless is really big on that. I mean, everything like, oh, you know, get
or
mad.
LA Story.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Totally.
Watching that after living in LA was so different.
It is. It's really different, and I agree because I haven't watched this show since I was like probably 9. You know, was when I started watching, which was way too young to be watching 90210. But that's why I'm a comedian. But yeah, Andrea doesn't live in district. She lives in Van Nuys. And it's like a big thing, and she has to lie and say she lives at her grandma's. Her grandma, literally the woman they cast, she looked so young that I looked her up. She's only 20 years older than Andrea, and she's playing her fucking grandmother.
Hollywood baby.
It's so funny.
I always talk about how funny it is that Sally Field played Tom Hanks' love interest in Punchline, and then his mom in Forrest Gump.
Oh, totally.
Like,
That's
it's
great.
so fucking Hollywood.
It's so Hollywood. I know. It is so funny. You just never know. I'm like, hey, I'll play anyone's mom.
Yeah,
give me
who
the
cares?
role.
I swear I don't care.
I'd
if you have any black grandma roles, I'm ready.
He's ready, you guys. He is
Anything.
ready. Oh my God, we would play such good parents to like an Italian, like Noah Centineo could totally be our kid. I feel right.
You want to be married to me? You want to be movie married?
I would be movie married to you.
I treat you so good, girl.
I know you would, and I think that'd be a cute couple, right?
I'm not mad at it.
I think it'd be like cutie Italians.
You know what I'm doing now? This is like a totally off the subject thing. Is I'm really into the Audible autobiographies.
Oh yes, let's talk about that.
So I listened to Britney.
Okay, yes.
Which was excellent.
Yeah.
Made me have a lot of like empathy for Paris Hilton.
Totally.
Originally I was like, Paris Hilton, and then I'm like, oh, she seemed really nice to Britney.
Yes,
like,
she did.
According to Britney.
Yes.
So if Britney's telling the truth, it made me feel better about that era.
I agree.
And then I listened to Matthew Perry.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
Yeah, that one is crazy.
It's like intense.
A
lot of like really raw, like revelations.
Raw. And I actually started that because I was such a Friends person, and I had a huge crush on Matthew Perry. Also had a guest star on 90210. He played a spoiled kid.
Oh yeah,
who
from
played
Princeton.
tennis.
He talked about it in the book.
Yeah. So, but I loved him, and when I was like kind of rocked by his death. I think as everyone was, and especially comedians. It's like he like kind of reached the highest of the high that you can as a comedic actor. Like being on a show like that.
He had like the #1 show in when he had in Longest Yard.
Yeah, whole 9 yards.
Yeah, those two were #1 at the same time.
I know.
Like a few people have accomplished.
I know, it's so crazy. And like, so I got his book after, like the weekend of his death, and listening to it that close to when he died, and when we didn't really know what had happened, it was kind of haunting because the first like line or two, he says something like, "I should be dead."
Yeah.
I was like,
and to also hear about all of his social anxiety and stuff. I met him a few times, and like it made more sense about his personality.
Oh yeah.
But I'm listening. Really, what I wanted to talk about was Mariah Carey.
Oh my God, I haven't.
Somebody recommended Mariah Carey's to me, and I'm like kind of like in the beginning of it a little bit still, but it's so good. Like she was talking today about like her teddy bear cuddles, and then singing a line from a song about her dad giving her the teddy bear, and you're like, oh, that's where that lyric came from.
Oh my God.
So she sings the lyrics that her writing, she tells the story in her life and then sings the lyric that she wrote about it.
Yeah.
I'm living.
Wait, so I want to ask, does she narrate her own?
Yes.
Okay.
And sings throughout it. Like,
oh my God.
But like willy-nilly kind of sings. She'll just be like, da-da-da-da. She'll just like go into stuff.
Like a casual run.
For instance, she talks about the beginning. Yeah. And she talks about the beginning of writing All I Want for Christmas, and how the beginning of the song sounds like it's a real, like, kind of played on a cheap thing, and she played it on a little Casio keyboard.
Oh my God.
She wanted it to have that like vintage sound of when she got a little keyboard for Christmas, like all the thought and stuff that you're listening into stuff. It's so interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I
really
gotta check
it.
that one out.
And now someone recommended a Carol Burnett book to me, and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm just gonna be going this whole kick, because I try to read at least a book a month, like read a book a month, but they're usually fiction. So the nonfiction now, I'm like all up in this, like listening to the person do it. I'm loving it.
I love it. And I'm curious what your take, Michelle Williams, who did Britney's.
Yeah.
I thought she
so believable.
Crushed it. There were times when I
was
forgot.
Like, this is Britney. Yes.
Yes. I'm like, I forgot. I don't know how. She is such a good actress.
I know.
It's like unreal.
I know. And some of her cadences and stuff, I'm like, she means it.
Yeah.
Then there was a couple of times where I was like, Britney would have said that different. Like, and she was giving Britney more.
Yeah. But I was like blown away. You know?
Yeah. And I loved the book.
I loved the book.
I had a whole different perspective on the whole situation.
So.
And it's refreshing to hear her speak.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't her voice.
Yeah.
Because it's like so many people talk on behalf of her all the time.
All the time. And this whole time she's been like, please stop talking on my behalf. Like, I'm a person, like everyone's taking control for, like, stop it. You know? So I'm glad that she got
Leave Britney alone.
Leave her alone. But I have a lot of dancer friends, and I'm sure, everyone knows everyone kind of by proxy in this industry. And I had always heard rumors about like, no, actually Justin was the one who was cheating. So I'm glad that it all got brought to light, you know? Now we have gotten news that her Universal has secured the rights to her
the movie, which I think will be a musical.
Do you think?
Must be.
I hope so.
Well, John Chu's directing, and he directed Wicked.
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's going to be a musical.
Yeah. Oh my God, yes. I forgot. Bury the lead much. John Chu's directing.
And also, there's her music. There's so much that goes with it.
Yeah.
Circus and Toxic. It's all like, it all makes sense to her life. And
Oh, I'm
see
so
it all
excited.
play out. It'd be cool.
I know, and she's behind it. She's like, I think she went on X and like was like, I'm excited about this, you know. So I think I think they'll give her, from what I've been reading, like some nice creative control as well, and which she deserves after all she's been through.
I'm just wondering if Mariah Carey was nominated for a Grammy for her book, because it deserves one.
When did her book come out?
I don't even know.
I
just love it.
I'm gonna totally go home and
it's a very, like, Mariah's always like the elusive chanteuse. You know, she's always like doing that thing where she's like, darlings, I celebrate an anniversary. Like,
anniversary. She
but
doesn't
this
have
is
a birthday.
her like being her.
Oh, really?
Talking about her family, like being honest about her emotions. Like I felt like it was a vulnerable version of her. I felt like her heels were off.
Oh,
you know
and
what I'm
that
saying?
does not happen.
know.
I love it. I feel like that should be a quote on the back of the book.
You can have
Her
it,
heels are
Mariah.
up.
I love you.
Heels are off. I've heard I have Jessica Simpson's. That's next on my list. I've heard it's good from a bunch of
You'll
people.
have to tell me first.
You don't look convinced.
I mean, well, yeah, I'm sure.
I think
I like her. I always liked her.
She's been through a lot. And you know what? I'm kind of like, get it, bitch. People called her dumb. People shit on her performing. Like, they were like, she doesn't hold a candle to Britney or Christina. But who was the first to become a billionaire? Jessica fucking Simpson.
Boom.
And
what?
Okay, who ideally, I've been wanting to do this with someone, who would be our dream casting for Britney?
I've been thinking about it for a while now, and I have.
Everyone's mind.
I just don't know. I really don't know. I honestly, my dream castings for moments like this are a new person.
Me too.
Let's make a star.
agree.
Everyone's got jobs. Let's make a star.
I agree. I think everyone has jobs. And also, I think if you go with like a Sydney Sweeney or someone who's well known, you're going to be kind of thinking about that. I want to go in and lose myself in this movie, you know?
Yeah.
Just like how Michelle Williams, you're not thinking it's Michelle Williams.
There's
the whole
no
time.
shortage of talented blonde girls. They'll
Exactly.
be fine.
There definitely are
Let's
a lot.
make a new star.
And please, for the love of God, get someone who can dance. That is like my one requirement, is that they can dance.
Yeah.
Because Britney is a dancer.
True.
Like, do you know Brian Friedman, her old choreographer?
No.
He choreographed her Dream Within a Dream tour, which was her really big, like, the Slave for You tour. So he worked hand in hand with Wade Robson. And he was one of her dancers. He danced in all the like Big Slave, all that, like her peak era. He was
right, and that's all your world.
Oh, that's so. Oh my God, when he did Funny Dance Show and was choreographing for Brad Williams and Adam Ray, I
cool.
died. I know he could only do one episode, but I was so grateful we got him at all, just because he's like incredible, and he's the kind of person it just comes down to, does he want to do it or not?
That's
you know
Mage.
What I mean?
That is Mage.
Yeah, so I was so excited, but he has been on this podcast in the hottest seat in town, and he said, he goes, Britney, she is a dancer. You know, she's not just a pop star who can dance, she is a dancer. And you can tell. I mean, she was in her heyday. I think I'm going to go on record, and I would say she and Janet are like neck and neck for me in terms of like, you look like.
I mean, yeah, sure.
I think
I don't know if I have the mental archive.
I know. I'm like, mine's just
head.
MTV from like 1997
yeah, I don't know
to 2005.
to like either confirm or deny, but
yes.
But Janet is like.
Janet is incredible.
Did you ever see Janet Jackson, MTV's Icon?
No.
And they have Usher, Pink, and Maya recreating all of her dances, and they are so freaking good.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then they have her like in some like box, like she's getting a Kenny Center honor, you know. And I really wanted them to do more of those Icon things.
Yeah.
Like they only really did her, I think.
Yeah.
And then they stopped it out.
Oh,
They
interesting.
did like a special for her.
Interesting.
And then that was it. But I wanted them to do different pop stars, and it was so awesome.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
I love Janet. She's the blueprint, and Britney has said this before too. And you can tell from the Britney's dancing, you can see it's very Janet coded, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Britney is the only pop star who's had even close to the level of dance ability that like Janet and Michael had, you know. Like Britney is so good. So whoever it is, please make sure they're a fucking dancer. That's all. That's like my only
period.
That is my only requirement. Universal, take that. Hottest seat in town. Who is your favorite pop star, would you say?
I don't know if I have like everyone always wants me to have a pop diva. I mean, I definitely am a Beyonce and a Gaga fan
Oh,
and all
of
of that
course,
other
yeah.
stuff. If I had to have like a total queen, it would be Sade.
Oh, yes.
She's like my queen. Like
Yes.
I don't know. Like I could listen. Like I almost listen to Sade every morning.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Sade song?
All of them.
Oh,
Literally.
They're all just such a vibe.
I think Is It a Crime is so good. I mean, there's so many of them. But I heard Sade has a new album and a tour this next year coming out.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're
Have
not...
I talked about it before? I mean,
No.
I talk about it a lot.
But I talk about all the same things all the time. No, I'm saying I was listening to you. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Because I'm a good listener.
I'm sorry, because I think I really was like, got into something, because I had this really crazy funny moment where, so I was going to Pride, and my friend was like, you know Santana's performing at Pride. And they meant Saucy Santana, but I literally thought they meant Carlos Santana. And I like lost my mind because that's like a bucket list one for me.
Oh my God.
And I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, what time is Santana going on? And then I was like, then we were at, me and my friend were at Pride, and I'm like looking around backstage, and I'm like talking to people. I'm like, do you guys know where Santana's performing? And they're like, oh, she's performing. And I'm like, she? I'm like, he may be in LA, which he's not, I found out sadly. But he was like, he may be in LA, but it's like calling like like an elder Hispanic man, she is a little much, sis. Like I was like, God. You don't know. You don't even know.
Oh my God.
And then I had this whole like, you know, like joint rolled, and I'm like all ready, and I'm sitting there, and then and I'm like in the fucking front row. And before that comes Tina Burner, who I love, but it's like, let's go. I'm trying to get to Santana.
Yes.
Like, and I'm like, here it comes. And then it's like all the lights change, and it was like pussy pop music. And I'm like, and my friend was fucking cackling. And I was laughing so hard that I was honking. Like, I felt so dumb that I didn't like put it all together.
Oh my God.
Not that I don't like Saucy Santana, but it wasn't.
It's not what
it wasn't the experience that I was completely dialed into.
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Oh my God, that's so
What really
funny.
clenched it was when my friend told me that happened. I was like, Santana's performing today. And it made sense to me because I saw Journey on that stage, but that was for Halloween.
Oh.
But I didn't make all the connections. I just was like, Journey performed, so maybe Santana would. It's LA. And then as soon as I said that, like, it was like, Santana came on the radio.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're playing it, you know, like on the, like, because, you know, when a concert's in town that day, they play the music on the radio.
Of course.
So all of it, I was already probably stoned, but all like set in.
It was all.
That when I got there, I was like, let's go at the front row. And then it was like, not it.
Oh my God, the fact that the idea of people calling Carlos Santana
she, I know.
So,
I was like, so weird. So, I mean, after that, I was like, because I was talking to my mom one time about like what her bucket list concerts are that she's never been to.
Yeah.
And Sade and Santana matched. I was like, I can't believe in our top 10 we have 2 matching.
Wait, so what are your other
I don't
top 5?
Oh, top 5 right now that I want to see?
Yes.
I've still never seen Madonna. I would like to see Madonna.
You know, anytime, call me. I'll go.
Yeah, I know. It's just, I mean, I don't know. It has to be in a special way. I don't know. Honestly, to be, like, I know you say that I would want to see Beyonce, and I would, but I'd rather see Destiny's Child.
Oh,
Like,
I mean, of course.
Like if they did a reunion concert, like, I'm seated.
Yeah.
You know, I think, like, I don't know. I'm just going to name random shit right now and not be honest at this point. But those were, because it was a long time ago we had this conversation, and I'll think about it, and next time I'll have a list.
Yeah.
But I just really would love to see Sade.
Sade.
I just live for her.
So great. Yeah. I know. I feel like
I saw Miguel, and that was amazing.
Miguel?
Yeah.
It's sometimes these artists, like, really, if they put on a good show, like, people shit on Katy Perry. She puts on a really good show.
Yeah.
She's running around the stage. She's singing. She's dancing. She's making jokes. Like,
I've seen some great people. I've seen Sia, who's awesome. I saw Robin. That was amazing.
Oh, Robin.
Robin was so good.
Robin would be on my list.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where did you see her?
I think at the Music Box.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah, it was just so good.
Is she still touring?
I don't know. I remember a few years ago, there's like a viral video where she was doing a concert in New York.
Yeah.
And then everybody on the 2 subway platforms across from each other were like, out on the corner.
Yeah.
And they all started singing it, and everyone was just like dancing afterwards.
I love that.
And I was like, oh, I miss New York. It looks so fun.
Oh, that does. Yeah, I miss New York. I haven't been in forever. I'm due for a trip.
I'm going in a few weeks.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
And I'm like trying to figure out what to go see on Broadway because everything I want to see comes out in the fall.
Oh, right.
I'm really excited about Audra McDonald playing in Gypsy.
Oh,
it's gonna
yeah,
be like
that'll
unbelievable.
be so good.
Nicole Schlesinger in Sunset Boulevard.
Oh.
Unfreaking believable.
Oh my God.
The Tammy Faye musical.
Oh yeah, Tammy
gotta see
Faye
that
for
too.
sure.
I have tickets to O'Mary in November.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
very exciting.
of course, Death Becomes Her.
Oh, Death Becomes Her.
All such good ones.
So good. Yeah.
So
and
there's a lot to see this year.
I'm excited we were talking a little bit Glengarry, Glenn Ross.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this casting. Bill Burr, who, hello, we're in his studio right now, in his home. I was so thrilled. And Kieran Culkin and Bob Odenkirk, yes, please.
Great, I know, great cast.
Perfect. Yeah, I think, so did you watch the Celine Dion documentary?
I did not yet.
It's heartbreaking, but it's really raw and vulnerable, and I already loved her so much, and it just made me love her. Like, you will be obsessed with her after.
Yeah, she did a turn for me. I always liked her, but then like when she started becoming like fashion queen,
yeah,
I was like really like look at her like pushing the envelope with fashion.
And she's so funny too. Like, have you seen that video that went viral of the woman outside her car window singing, and she just rolls it up?
That's actually altered though.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, she told the girl good job or whatever. They just it's so funny because the girl wasn't actually good.
Yeah, no,
so
I'm
they made it funnier, but
that's hilarious. Oh my god.
It's like the Paris thing where it says stop being poor.
Yeah. They altered it, right?
Yeah, it didn't actually say that. I think it said stop being boring or something.
Yes, something like that. I've heard her say that. Well, they got me and I was into it. But so she has this stiff person syndrome, and it's a really raw, which is a really serious, very rare neurological disorder.
Right.
Where like I think there's a disconnect between your mind and your muscles, like your muscle, something with the muscles and control over it or whatever. It's so raw. It's a lot. Just FYI, it's intense. Like, there's one scene almost at the end that's like very, very intense, where you're like, holy shit, I can't believe they're like, and the producers are like, do you want us to cut? And she's like, no. So
it's horrible to have that much demanded of you and then have like some physical ailment. Like when Gaga was talking about her fibromyalgia, I was like, that's gonna be so
I know,
painful to go through every show.
I know, every show. And these performers, it's like they have to be operating at such a high level, and especially when they're so talented, like Gaga, Celine, like Celine's voice is insane, and she hasn't been able to sing like that anymore.
It's much like when I was on Celebrity Drag Race and I didn't have high heels that fit me.
Exactly.
How do us really talented people survive in perfect condition?
It's so true, and that's a testament to what a professional you all are.
Also, when I was on Funny Dance Show, my shoe fell off.
It's true, and the show must go on.
You gotta keep going.
You gotta keep going. You were so funny on Funny Dance Show, by the way. Also, those like silicone tits that Irene, your partner, do you remember as the old lady? She had on these like fake tits that looked kind of real, that they showed, I think because they were fake, they didn't have to blur them. Like the nipples were showed on network television. I was like, oh, they're gonna blur these, and then nope, they didn't.
Nope.
So I think we're getting closer to freeing the nipple for women.
See?
Yep.
Step by step.
Step by step.
Also, I think speaking of free the nipple, that's like the Janet reference, right?
Yes.
Janet needs some sort of retribution for that moment.
She absolutely does.
Like at this point, I think Justin Timberlake needs to be held accountable for all of his sins.
I do too, and I think, you guys, it's just a feeling I have. I believe, has been holding up an NSYNC reunion, right? Because he's like, I'm going to do my own tour. But now I think DUI, Janet, Britney, this, that, holding hands.
It's going to fuck up the tour.
It's going to fuck up the world tour. And I think the way that he can make it up to all of us is to do an NSYNC world tour. That'd be nice. I think that would be a brilliant PR move. Justin, hire me. I'm here. I'm here for you. And also, I just really want to go to that fucking show.
Right.
I love NSYNC so much. You must know Lance, right?
I know Lance.
Yeah. Lance is great.
And I know Joey Fatone.
Oh, cool.
Slightly.
Yeah. Well, he's great. He's like.
We did some Zoom things together.
Oh, nice.
Like or one or two Zoom like things, a dual interview or something.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Lance is so cool. He did the dance show when it was just in the belly room. He's done this podcast.
Lance is one of those people that I end up at these weird events with.
Totally.
Like I'm just like why are we here? You know,
totally.
It's like those. Like one of the things I went to with him was the Dalai Lama's 80th birthday party.
Oh my God. Of course you did.
I mean, when I get asked to go to these things, I'm like, okay. I'm like, who could say that?
Yeah, exactly.
Not many.
No, that you went to the Dalai Lama's 80th birthday with Lance Bass? Yeah.
And it was like, my table was like Lance Bass, Jeanette McCurdy.
Oh my God, Jeanette.
Yeah, and who else was there? I don't know. It was funny celebrities. Like,
yeah.
It was a weird event.
That's so funny.
They made us all go onto like this riser because the Dalai Lama was gonna like walk in front of us and like take a picture.
Oh my God!
And he just dissed all the celebrities got removed from our tables like with our +1s. My mom was there. Like we had to like leave everybody at our table and then go stand on this riser for an uncomfortably long amount of time. And the Dalai Lama was like,
Oh my God.
Not gonna do it. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And just left us all standing on a weird riser.
Hilarious.
It was funny. Hollywood is so freaking weird.
Very strange.
I think I'm really normal.
You are so normal.
I am normal.
I honestly sometimes, and this is a compliment, but I forget, like when we were just talking and you were like, oh yeah, I was 26 when I played 16 in Mean Girls. I was like, oh yeah, you've played high school when you were in your 20s before. Like it's just, you're so normal and relatable and cool.
I don't like, I don't know. I'm glad I am.
Yeah, I am too.
Because I got in at like 21, 22, I was already like normal.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't make enough money to get weird.
Yeah.
My first like stand-up show, like my first like hour was called I've Never Made the Kind of Money to Become a Mess.
Oh my God, really? That's so funny.
Because it's so true. Like if I, like, who knows what would have happened if like I became like a millionaire out the gate. Like,
oh, totally.
Can't be like held responsible for all
I know.
how I would have behaved.
Yeah, I mean, look at everyone like shits on these child stars and stuff, but it's like, imagine if you had the whole world in the palm of your hands at like 17, you know? Yeah. You would probably be fucked up too.
Free T-Mobile sidekicks for everyone.
Oh, so I wanted a sidekick so bad.
I loved that phone. It's still to this day my favorite phone.
Really?
Yeah.
You had one?
I was so good at it.
Oh my God. Oh, I can see you.
So
like,
people, I'd be like, what's your number? And then I'd be like, I could type my name by doing that. It wasn't even like the one where you can do this. It was like I would just hit the actual buttons in a cadence, and my name would come up.
Oh my God!
I was so good at it.
I never had one because I always had AT&T, and you had to have T-Mobile to have the sidekick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I never got it, but I was jealous.
And Hollywood kids were always like, "How do you spell the word sure?" Or like, you know, they just like never, you know.
Yeah.
Texting took a learning curve in the beginning for a lot of people. I just remember them being like not being able to spell anything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Before predictive text.
Oh, but sometimes it predicts really wrong.
Yeah.
I'm trying to say goes, not does.
Well, my default predictive text is Italian.
Oh, really?
Just because like it helps me when I'm doing Duolingo.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. Do you speak Italian?
I'm trying to learn it now.
Yeah.
I could read it really well now.
Yeah.
But and I could spell it really well. I'm having a hard time putting it together. If I have to write a sentence, it's hard.
Yeah.
Or if I have to speak it, but I need someone that could talk to them every day.
Yeah.
To really get good at it.
Yeah.
But I always thought that I couldn't really speak Spanish, and then I went to Spain, and I was like, when I had to speak it, I was like, oh, this works.
Yeah, I'm sure it's kind of like when the pressure's on, you know?
So I'm almost a year now of working on Italian, and I think that like the next time I go to Italy, I'll probably like all of a sudden be picking it up and be able to talk a little more.
Where in Italy have you been?
Everywhere.
Really? Mm-hmm. I've never been. I'm a bad Italian. I need to go.
Yeah, you have to go.
I know.
Let's go.
Let's go. I know. I want to go to Sicily first because I'm Sicilian.
I actually haven't been to Sicily.
Oh my God, let's go.
I've been to Rome, Venice, Florence, Capri.
Nice.
Siena, Milan.
What's your favorite?
You know, I thought Siena really, to me, looked like how I pictured Italy.
Yeah.
Like, all of them have, like, a Gothic church in a square.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're going to get that. Like, after, because we kind of did, like, a tour. It was, like, a lot of it. And, like, eventually I was like, enough churches. Like, I was like, can we see something else? Let's go to club.
Yeah.
But, like, but they had, like, you know, like the forest green window shutters, and then like the ladies like throwing buckets of water and like lowering buckets to pick up bread and laundry, and like it just felt like very like what I in my head imagined Italy to be like.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Capri's absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
Also, but it felt very touristy, but like beautiful. I don't know. And Rome is the most fun and the most liberal, probably.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go. My aunt's, I think, planning a big family trip to Sicily next summer, so I think I'll finally make it over. All right, I think we're just about out of time. Where can everyone find you?
Like on the couch.
On the couch.
No, everyone could find me at What's Up Danny. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you have coming up? Any shows or anything? Go see your hat trick. When's your hat trick?
Oh yeah, September 2nd, Labor Day. I will be in all 3 rooms at the Comedy Store. Get into it, and then October 2nd, you can catch me in the musical Blood Love here in Los Angeles.
I will definitely be coming to that.
Yeah, it should be
fun. I'm so excited. Where is that?
It'll be at Novel Hollywood.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
They haven't even really announced it yet, but hey, scoops.
Oh, look at
Scoops.
this. Look at this inside scoop. And I just have to say, I'm so glad I didn't book Gossip Girl so that I could be here with you.
Same.
You guys, always fun. Check out Danny. Also, Columbus, I'm going to be there tomorrow. I think this is coming out tomorrow. So tonight, if you're in Columbus, 10 p.m. at the Columbus Performing Arts Center as part of the Columbus Comedy Festival. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on Glitter and Garbage. Bye.